I think what's exciting about farming is it's like the calling of our time, especially for, I think, our generation. We have this question, what sustains us? What is sustainability, you know? How do we live on this earth and, you know, with more people and more, you know, less resources, and, you know, what is a unifying thing that can bring people together, you know? And I think that agriculture does that. I feel, especially the organic movement, sustainable agriculture, it's, you know, it is looking at ecological principles and how it relates to people. Oh boy. They like these. Is it chocolate muffin? I think what's exciting about agriculture is it just brings people together, you know? It brings people together, and it seems like just a right action to do to, you know, meet the challenges of our kind of changing earth, you know? How can we grow food in a way that doesn't take too much resources, or how can we treat the land in a way that revitalizes it to, you know, replenish itself and bring, you know, and help us bring, you know, bring more crops out. It just is inspiring to people to see happy, healthy animals. It's inspiring to people to see kind of a new generation try to take up, you know, what's a very age-old vocation and do it in a way, you know, with their head held high, you know. It's like a lot of people are trying to get away from agriculture, but I think there's something special, you know, for thinking about it and being smart about how we treat the land, how we treat animals, how we plan systems. You know, it's just not something we can just, you know, take for granted anymore. It's something we really have to plan, and I think there's a lot of opportunities, you know, for folks who really care to make a point, you know. Everything you want to do with agriculture is contrary to the system, the machine, without doing anything illegal. It's wholesome, it's connecting, it brings people together from, you know, left to right, and they meet in the middle. They meet in the middle with food. Everyone can agree we need strong communities. Everyone can agree we need healthy food. Everyone can agree we need local jobs and local production.
What do you think your biggest compromises in your own values that you brought to the farm are? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, good question. I guess I always thought, you know, once you enter agriculture, you're kind of entering business a little bit. And I always thought, you know, oh, you know, I don't maybe want to get involved with business because then, you know, I'll just worry about money and I'll chase money around. But, you know, it really kind of matters to keep a balanced budget, and you know, with your farm. You can't go too much in debt, or you got to be, you know, frugal with your inputs sometimes, or you need to be, you know, price shopping. And so I think just kind of getting into business was sort of a compromise to something that I felt, you know, I talk about the system, and a lot of the system is based around money, you know. And so getting involved sort of in the money game, because that's what, you know, you make all these lovely pigs, but you got to sell them, you know, or you can't just give them away because they're worth something. They took money to make, you know. They took other farmers' crops to make, and somewhere it's got to be paid for, you know. You got to ask a fair price, and I don't have any problem with that. I think there's a lot of food justice, and I believe, you know, my prices are fair. Nevertheless, I do have a little bit of like sometimes a concern about risk and finances and money, and that's something that is like, I don't know if it's a total compromised value, but maybe it's growing me in one way, exposing me to another side. But I really never expected to, gosh, really care so much about money, you know, like, okay, we got to make sure that, you know, we're on track for the budget. I don't want to lose any. I got to, you know, you got these pigs coming in, these pigs going out. This is going to be here. Oh, I hope this market's secure. Oh, it's not. Okay, I've got to shift. And all this shifting and stuff, adaptation, that's wonderful. And we can do that. But when you have to shift and be a little more adaptive in a more rigid financial environment, it's a challenge, and so I thought it made me concerned more about money. And then so I realized that was for myself, you know. Okay, I'm concerned about money. Well, my peers definitely got to be concerned about money. There's other young farmers, other farmers who've been farming for ages too, you know, not just young farmers. Other farmers are raising pigs and doing their best they can to sell their crops. And so I find that, you know, if I want to expand my business, I'm going to have to go into competition against what I believe are my teammates, essentially.
Why do you continue doing it? Why are you going to get up and do this tomorrow?
Well, I'm proud of myself, and people are proud of me, and it keeps them excited. I guess I like what other people think a little bit of what I'm doing, and I'm proud of what I'm doing. And I don't know. I think if I get into something, you know, I think something that could be done forever, you know, I don't know. I feel like agriculture is kind of a thing for the young people to do. And not because, you know, their labor is worth any less. It's just because they have that energy, you know, and it does take energy where you're, you know, working in longer hours, or you're, you know, bending over to pick up, you know, feed sacks or whatever. So, I don't know. I have a lot of things I'm interested in. I'm always want to be involved in caring about, you know, and working with the earth. I know that now, and I'm not trying to be too evasive, but now is the calling for me to do this. Now is the time for me to do this. And everything has sort of opened itself up for me to do this, and so I'm called to do it now, and that keeps me going every day, is knowing that I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be right now. I don't know in the future, you know, if things like, you know, get tight, I definitely will be involved in agriculture, because I have the experience. I know what a season looks like. I'm not an expert, but I've been through it, and I've shown that I can do it. So, you know, there'll be a lot of maybe young people coming up who want to try themselves, you know, and it'd be great to teach them. So, will I do this forever? I'm not sure. I'm really not. There's limits to everything, you know, and everything has its season.
Because if you had, hypothetically, man, or not, if you and Aaron had children, you think you would want them to farm?
I would want them to know what it feels like to work a full day. I would want my kids to know and be proud of, you know, when you sit down to a bowl, a salad you made, or a pork chop, or, you know, some lamb you made, just to be proud of it, just to know where it came from, and just to know, yeah, I remember that day we were weeding that lettuce and it didn't look like anything, but now it's a real salad, and look at all my friends here, and they're eating it, and they're not only eating, loving it, but they're getting healthy on it. So I like my kids to know, you know, sort of just what it feels like to work a full day and be proud of it, what it feels like to make as much as you can on your own and enjoy it for the value that it has, you know, the real, true fruits of labor.